Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where we are currently working on expansion, and we're working on expanding rather quickly. We're working on 3 colonies simultaneously and still making money. We can invest in a quantity idea. The question is, do we want to? And I think the answer is probably no. I think we want to go for mill tech instead. But as we work our way through all of this, a great voyage is completed. We've not done standardized currency yet. We need the National Bank economic idea, or the Emperor influence has to be lower than 30, or the Emperor loyalty is greater than 50 and their influence is lower than 50, or their loyalty is greater than 70. So what's the Emperor situation here? So that is going to drift up. Their current influence is 59.4, and we need them to have what again? Lower than 30 or lower than 50 influence. Or their overall loyalty is 70 or greater. Okay, so that's reasonably fine. So that means that we need to let this drop a little bit. Noted. And we definitely want to have their loyalty come up. Their equilibrium is currently 64.9. So we might actually be able to get there from here. That'll be interesting. We're currently working on building a house of worship up in Nea Theodosia, and this should be done very soon, right? Yeah, that's going to finish, like, right now. So the Clericoi just gained some loyalty there, and we can set an agenda. So this is going to boost up their influence, and that's understood. Okay, so what do we got here? So CITES would need to have a church or a basilica. It would gain a base tax. That's pretty good. Colonize or have a subject fully colonize all provinces in this area. I mean, that's pretty good too. I'm going to take this though. So the base tax in CITES is what we're going to go for. So CITES is this province. Gotcha. So that looks fine. We'll be able to get that going very, very shortly here. This is going to be a church, so we just need a little bit of gold here. No, I'm not going to give you our ducats, our hard-earned ducats. We're making 4.13 right now, which isn't a huge amount, but that's because we're colonizing very aggressively at this time. Just extremely aggressively. So that's absolutely understood. And how are we doing on our dip power at this point? I think that we should go back to focusing admin power. So I'm going to do exactly that. And I'm very, very interested in getting this church going on the next month tick. So we'll get that going right now. That's going to make us 0.06. Understood. Okay, so that looks absolutely fine for now. Our corruption is currently growing. This is mostly due to overextension, because we just took this down over here, right? And that's not terribly shocking. We are going to continue our expansion, but for the time being, how are we doing on this coring? Okay, we're about 60% done. I was going to say 70. We're not 70% done. That's wishful thinking right there. So we're working on bringing our manpower back up. We're gaining 167 per month. Okay, so assimilation there, and infantry and cavalry cost increases. Understood. That's absolutely fine for now. So we're just going to let this overextension drop. This is now almost to 70%, so that is making some progress. And we need to get the Emperor's loyalty up a fair amount. You can see they have high influence levels right now. This is primarily because we keep setting an agenda, and that's understood. Ooh, admin power. Yes, we're going to take the admin power. And our colony up over here became self-sustaining. So I'm going to recall this settler here. I'm very tempted to grab this to cut these guys off. Very, very tempted right now. Okay, I was just checking to see if they were still guaranteed by Finland. They are. So I'm going to cut these off up over here. We're going to send a colonist there. Our next colony to finish up will be Danos, which is this one, which seems relatively fine. Once that finishes, we're going to go back down here and start working our way around this coastline. That's the idea. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to have 2 working on the coast and 1 inland colony at any given time. Unfortunately, right now we only have 1 on the coast and we have 2 inland colonies. Vinland wants our maps. Okay, sure. That's fine. We have so much prestige, though. That's really good. So our corruption is going to stop growing fairly soon here. We just need to get this overextension done, right? And that's at 85%. That will be finished very, very shortly. Okay, so we finished up making nice with the Ottomans. The question is, would they give us anything? No. Okay. So Spain, not very happy with us. Britain is kind of happy with us. What is this? Britain would have to be our subject for this. They would accept this, but they would have to be our subject first. That's interesting. Very interesting. Obviously, they're not our subject, and they're not going to be anytime soon, right? So that is absolutely understood. European trade ventures. Since the rediscovery of our old homeland, adventurous individuals from all over Europe have begun making the perilous journey to the New World, nominally to explore and no doubt strike it rich along the way. However, despite their interest, many European explorers avoid our territory, wary of a people they had long thought perished at sea. Sensing a unique opportunity, many of our ports are opening their doors, offering preferential treatment to European merchants. While we could allow this open trade policy to continue, the Roman state and its predecessors have traditionally held tight control over foreign trade. So we could put in restrictions here. By enforcing strict regulations governing foreign trade and currency, we shall ensure the prosperity of domestic agriculture and industry, while remaining open to technological development overseas. Institutions present in European Atlantic coastal centers of trade will slowly spread into all of our Atlantic coastal centers of trade. That's pretty good. We get some mercantilism, and we gain protectionism until the end of the game, giving us 15% production efficiency and some embargo efficiency. That production efficiency is quite good. Alternatively, institutions will spread instead of slowly spread. And that unlocks some government reforms, as does this. We would lose a bunch of mercantilism, we gain some trade efficiency, trade power abroad, institution spread, dip cost, goods produced modifier minus 10%. Or institutions would very slowly spread, and we get isolationism until the end of the game. I don't think we're going to go with this. I think we're going to do this. Having the institutions at least slowly spreading would be great. So if we look here, we can see, yeah, there's colonialism spreading here and here. And here as well. Okay, so that's something anyway. So we have some of that going on. There's a base tax in CITES. Excellent. And what else are we interested in doing for right now? Well, there's not a lot that needs to be done other than getting the opinion of the Emperor up, right? That would be very nice. Their equilibrium is rather high, but we could just let that drop over time. So that would mean we would need to not take any missions from them for quite a long time, like 12 years. I don't know that that's a great idea, to be honest, and we have no debate in Senate, so let's start a debate here. Let's see. Tax from Parliament seats. Interesting. I think we're going to take the charter colonies. So we've got a 50% chance right now. Our navigator would die. Is that this guy? Yes. I'm kind of okay with that, actually. So much for them. And we're at 75 here. We are fine with putting ducats into it. 23 sailors, completely okay. So it just passes just like that. And we've got ourselves some nice colony cost modifier reduction and global settler increase. So that's fantastic. We're very happy about that one. That, of course, means that Danos, and these are all cored, Danos is going to finish fairly soon. It's at 85 per year right now, and that looks great. We are going to need to make this into a state, and we're going to core all of those provinces. There we go. And we have too few seats in Senate, so we need to give something a Senate seat. Okay, so I forget where the button for that is. Yeah, so we need to give another Senate seat There is a button here somewhere. So this is currently Poeton, but it is Elysian Orthodox. Where is the Give Senate Seat button? I know for a fact that there is one. I've used it previously. That's a client state. That's not what we want. That's the institutions. Expand and reduce infrastructure. Sure. And we can see that here's the assimilation progress, I think. Yeah, that's being assimilated into the Roman culture group. So that sounds good. But I know for a fact, here it is. This is it right here. So we're going to give those guys a seat in Parliament. That'll be fine for now. And we can make another state down over here, which we're delighted to do. And we'll make that into a full core. And we can make another state down here. Again, we're delighted to do that. And we'll make that into full cores. Okay, our leader died, so we need to roll up a new general. That'll be this guy. Very mediocre. Okay. Not the best stats in the world, that's for sure. So I'm definitely interested in attacking these guys. Do we think that we can get Vinland to help us with that? No, they have a truce right now, but that's still something that is very interesting to do if we can get Vinland involved. I do want to get an additional construction going here, 0.09 and 0.08. So neither of those are phenomenal. Any good marketplaces to be built? I mean, kinda? Kinda. But maybe we should put this into our forces instead. Our force limit is currently 27. Building up to our force limit is probably pretty important. What's our combat width right now? Combat width is currently 25. Okay. So with that in mind, our current combat front is 13 plus 3. So that is currently 16. What is our cavalry ratio? That's in here, right? That's our military tactics. Cavalry to infantry ratio, 30. Okay. So that's absolutely fine. 30% is okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have our cavalry be pretty small. It's going to be just 4 units out on the flanks like this, which means that we want to have 21 units of infantry. Now, we don't have the manpower for this, and we don't really have the money for it either, but we're going to bring that up to 18 for now. And we're going to want to have, similarly, 25 units of cannon. That's going to be extraordinarily expensive, but we can get that started. Wood clearance in Myros giving us a base tax. I like it. Accommodation with the natives in Danos. That means that that's going to finish up very quickly here. Do we want more power to the Dynatoi? Because our Basilius has fallen ill. So do we want to give the Dynatoi more power, reducing our national tax modifier? Or would we rather have monthly autonomy change, plus 0.05? To be honest, we'll take the monthly autonomy change. There we go. That'll be fine. That's still going to be net negative, and so that'll be great. So if we check like down over here, we can see the autonomy here is 33.9. This is going to be going down by 0.1 per month because we're fine. There's no problem here. We don't mind delegating it in that regard. So that looks good. And I'd be very, very happy to get some more admin tech going here. That would be very useful indeed. But for the moment, this is fine. New trade goods, okay. We're going to get another unit of crossbows here. So that's just working its way on up. And Danos is going to be full very, very shortly. Okay, so that's now done. I'm going to pull back from here, and we're going to head down this direction with our colonist. There we go. So that's looking good. Spain is still colonizing out over this direction, and they're the only ones that we see colonizing right now down this way. So for now, that looks reasonably okay. We are going to want to core this, so we'll get that done. And there's a conversion finishing. I'm sure there's more conversions that we can do here. Absolutely. So we'll get going on that. Excellent. We're still going to want to be building up our military, and this is in part because I really want to fight these guys and get them under our control. We're probably going to end up vassalizing them, not fully taking them over, but that's still a very, very good thing to do. So we're just going to be building up our military for now, at least up to the force limit. So that's the concept there. Now, 0.08 and 0.09. So none of those are really amazing to build right now. I'm just going to bank the cash for the moment. Hang on. We're making 12 ducats a month? That's a lot of ducats. What do you think the odds are that we can afford a 4th colony? I think it's maybe going to be a bit painful, but let's give it a go. Let's see how it feels. I may regret this. Quadratic increases are painful. We have a corrupt priest. Okay, we'll seize his assets. I think that's absolutely fine. We'll gain 50 ducats out of that. Sounds good. Okay, what are we at? Minus 4.28? Yeah, I can't say I'm shocked about that. 4.09? Okay. So we could cut our colonial maintenance. That is a theoretical option. This is very painful, right? I'm not surprised about this. We could also potentially raise war taxes here to cost 2 military power, but cut down on our army maintenance costs. We can't drop our army maintenance because we're drilling at this time. So this is pretty much all colonial maintenance. And that's absolutely understood. These colonies are going to take a while to build as well. We can pull this guy back out of here and send him over to here, which will be the best way to go. We want him in the place with the highest number of settlers. Yes, that will reduce his settler attraction chance, but we want to get this filled up as soon as we can and get back down to 3 colonies now that we know how painful this is. This is quite painful, but we can make it work. We could definitely make it work. So these guys, they are not currently able to do any exploration. We may want to have them protect trade in the meantime, although that heavy ship in there could make things a little bit awkward. But let's just have them go out and do a little bit of trade protection here. Okay, so we do have a rebel uprising brewing. This is out over here. Seems fine. I'm going to stop drilling, and we're going to walk right out over here, letting our morale regenerate a little bit. And we're going to park here for right now. And the question is, do we want to just provoke this? How long? 1.8 years and 1.3 years. Okay, so if we were to unmothball this fort, copper here, okay, noted, unmothball that fort, and we just move up over to here, and we park here. So that's going to reduce the unrest here a little bit, although I think we need to update that. Or maybe have a month tick. Yeah, that reduces it a little bit, and that's understood. So this is going to be 1.8 years. This is going to be 1.8 years, allegedly, as well. So both of these are at 1.8 years. I want these to happen sooner rather than later, I feel like. This one just went up to 90. That seems okay. And we can bring this up to the full combat width at this point. So I'm going to do that. Yes, we've got some financial issues. That's understood. We can seize land, which... do we want to? Here's the idea. I'm going to do a sale of titles here. That's going to boost all estate loyalty by 10. The Emperoi are now at 75. That should allow us to standardize our currency. Done. Gold would be produced here or here. Okay, we'll look at that. What do we produce here right now? This is currently copper, and this is currently tobacco. Technically, the copper is more valuable, so let's change this over to gold. So that is now done. Now we can seize back half of the land that we just sold. Like that. Okay, so that puts us in a better position financially. We've also got the gold production here, which will give us some amount of income for that. The question is how much? 5.41? Okay, yeah, that's not terribly shocking. Okay, so that seems reasonably fine for right now. We're waiting on these guys to pop. They'll pop basically any moment now. There's an 8.8% chance every single month. Welcome to the faith. Fantastic. So that, of course, completed this mission. And Imperial Silk is the next potential option here. For this, we would need to own or a subject own a province with 16 development among the following. And own or subject... This is an ore. Okay. So that's way down here. Gotcha. That's going to take some time. So that's absolutely fine. I would love it if these guys would pop here. We'll see. But we're definitely having very good population growth down here. We're up to 705. One of these moments, they're going to pop. We are about to finish up a missionary strength here. There we go. And I'm wondering if we can convert this. Yes, do that. So the idea here is that's going to boost the unrest, which is going to increase the chance that this pops. There's now a 12.9% chance, so that's about a 50% increase over what it previously was. Okay, so these guys integrated. That's great. And we are going to take prestige. Thank you very much. So we're just trying to get these guys to pop right now. That's the idea. We're taking attrition here, and I don't want to sit here, if at all possible. Because this is not great. Netherlands declared independence. Okay, that's pretty funny. I like it. You know what? These guys are just not popping. I'm doing it this way. We're provoking the revolt, and then we're going in here, and we're just going to crush them. We have the combat width. That's going to be no real problem. So at this point, now we want to do the same thing up here. This is at 90%. We're not taking attrition here, at least. So supply limit is 22. Okay. So yeah, we're not taking attrition here. That's a good sign. We can set an agenda, which we should definitely do. And what do we want to go with? Base tax in Varia? I mean, that's good. So they want us to build a church here. Consider it done. Okay. So we're just kind of waiting for this to fire. At this point, we're in a much better position now. So 12.1% chance here. Looks good. Eventually they'll fire, right? Eventually. But not yet. Is this being reduced by the fort at all? No. No, it is not. We're paying for the fort, and I don't really want to be doing that right now, but this is fine, I guess. We are currently up to almost 800 here, so this is going very well. No issue there, really. But any moment now. Just fire. Anytime now. I'm done waiting. We're going to go up over here and fight them. No problem. They were sieging this, so we're considered the defender here, and that's great. Now we're going to head back to Elysia. We're going to mothball this fort, and we can, at this point, cut our army maintenance down to about here. We're still going to be regenerating our forces, but this will mean that we're making money, and that's great. We have some great projects that we can upgrade, and this would be one base tax in Eros. Do it. So we'll get that started. Seems absolutely wonderful. And do we have another building that we want to build? Actually, yes. There's a good workshop there. Looks great. So we're making some amount of money right now. That is going to be a much higher amount of money once we get one of these colonies completed. So that is great. And there's a base tax coming in. Looks perfect. A noble family is requesting autonomy. So long term, this is going to be worthwhile. We'll give it to them, and this is going to be a lot of additional autonomy, right? But that's going to tick down. Long term, that'll be worth it. So that sounds good. Wave of obscuritanism. Okay, so we're going to take advantage of their ignorance, and we're going to get some ducats. This is because we're greedy, and that is absolutely fine. Beautiful. So Kusaba's up to 854 at this moment, and we're still working our way down this direction. We'll get there eventually. So out of curiosity, oh, these guys are re-guaranteed by Vinland? Rude. Oh well. We'll deal with Vinland eventually. Right now, we're working on building up our manpower again, but there's a new admin tech that we can get. That gets us another idea group, and that's incredibly important, because that will give us access to the expansion ideas, which we definitely want to take here. So we're going to grab that, and that will be fine. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue our expansion. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods, I see Spain down over here, in the form of likes, comments. Is this Portugal? Portugal's just kind of chilling here. Okay. Well, there's shenanigans going on over there for sure. In the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Andy McGard, Dark Horse, Xenocite, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.